there's a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her.
Yeah.
Weird.
Super weird.
So if I'm going to stand there 18 hours in a dress of an iconic Disney princess, I deserve to be paid for every hour that it is streamed online.
Pay your fucking writers, pay your fucking actors. I have residual checks that would shock you, and I've only made 2 movies.
We don't just sit around and say, yeah, we grew up watching this movie called Snow White in all these other countries, and all of a sudden you show up.
So you probably already know that Rachel Zegler has been super open and outspoken about dealing with critics of the upcoming Snow White project. She's not holding back at all on social media, where she's firing off loads of tweets defending her casting and taking on those who aren't excited about the film.
Are you being casted in a classic film to remake it, but you don't seemingly like your own character? So she comes off as an insufferable, whiny brat.
This person tweeted, "The fact that everyone is so unhappy with Rachel Zegler and Snow White shows how everyone, not just conservatives, is done with the strong female lead trope. It's overdone and the girls are tired of it." And this person pointed out some incredible hypocrisy from Rachel with, 3 years ago, Rachel Zegler sent her fans to bully Gina Carano over the boop bop beep pronouns thing. Gina just called Rachel out as a lying hypocrite after she tweeted, "I hope the world becomes kinder." Rachel Zegler is finally reaping what she sowed. This person, however, had a different opinion. "I thought Rachel Zegler had murdered someone based on how mad people are, but as it turns out, she's just done the same thing a million male actors have done before, and nobody cared."
We have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie.
Right.
Andrew Burnap, great dude.
Yeah.
On the flip side, it's interesting to note that Gal Gadot hasn't really shown any public support for Rachel Zegler or said much about Snow White. Even when she's asked about the movie in interviews, Gal Gadot is all about the film itself and her own performance. She's not getting into the whole chatter around the film's message or politics.
I was scared of the original cartoon. I think I watched it once and then I never picked it up again.
Normally, when a fellow actor is getting flack for a role, co-stars would chime in to show their support and shut down any hate. But in this case, Gal Gadot is keeping her distance from all that drama. It's worth mentioning that Gadot has been vocal about not liking how women characters have been portrayed on screen lately. She's made statements about wanting to see more authentic differences between male and female characters instead of just following a one-size-fits-all approach. Interestingly, the qualities she's been critical of in modern, strong female characters are quite similar to how Snow White seems to be written. No wonder she's not exactly the film's biggest cheerleader. What's cool, though, is how Gal Gadot is setting an example for how an artist should handle this kind of situation. She's focusing on the film itself, her role and her performance, rather than jumping into the fray and attacking fans or getting into politics. It's a different path from Rachel Zegler, who's taken a more confrontational approach, which might not be the best move for building a positive environment around the movie. Zegler's gone after fans a bunch of times, which doesn't seem like the best way to win over the very audience she wants to buy tickets to see the film. So first off, Rachel Zegler, the actress who scored the role of Snow White, has been stirring up quite the storm. One major bone of contention is her handling of fans and critics. She's been pretty forthright on social media, which is great for expressing opinions, but she's taken it a step further by lecturing fans who don't agree with her or the project, and that's where things get a bit dicey. The thing is, Zegler is just 22 and has already achieved multimillionaire status. That's fantastic for her, of course, but it does raise eyebrows when she comes out telling fans how they should think, especially when there are other actors in the industry struggling to make ends meet. Some of these actors might make around 30 grand in an entire year, and here's Zegler asking for more money. It's not exactly sitting well with everyone. Zegler's commitment to the role is clear, and she's spending a lot of time working on becoming the best Snow White possible. However, it's this mindset that because she's dedicating so much time to it, she deserves more recognition and compensation, which is irking some folks. While her dedication is commendable, there's an element of entitlement that's not sitting right with fans and critics alike. What's interesting is that her approach seems to have added fuel to the negative fire online. The backlash against the film seems to be gaining momentum, and Zegler's attitude has played a part in that. By taking on fans and posting negative tweets, she's inadvertently inviting more criticism. It's like a cycle that's not doing the film any favors. On the other hand, the fact that her co-stars like Gal Gadot have decided not to dive into fan battles or political debates has been seen as a good thing. This is kind of the approach that fans generally expect from actors focusing on the craft and the production rather than getting caught up in the whirlwind of online drama. It's worth noting that Gadot has had her share of controversies too. We've seen the whole COVID video incident and her statements around Wonder Woman. However, what stands out is that she's actually listened to fan feedback and made an effort to improve. This willingness to grow and learn from mistakes is something fans appreciate. So what's the takeaway from this whole situation? Well, it's a complex mix of personalities, opinions, and the dynamics of the entertainment industry. Zegler's passion for the role is undeniable, but her approach to addressing critics might not be winning her many fans. On the other hand, Gadot seems to be a bit more tactful in handling the PR side of things, which could be beneficial for the film's overall perception. In the end, movies like Snow White are meant for the fans. They're the ones who will be buying tickets, discussing the film, and keeping the buzz alive. So it's important to strike the right chord with them, regardless of an actor's personal opinions. And Snow White isn't the only film Rachel has managed to land herself in hot water over, as she told The Hollywood Reporter at the premiere of 2023 movie Shazam! Fury of the Gods. She only made the movie as she needed a job at the time, as filming was around the pandemic, and West Side Story had yet to come out. The film later bombed at the box office and got a rating of just 49% from critics on Rotten Tomatoes, and no doubt movie execs will be hoping her comments about the upcoming Snow White movie won't affect its performance at the box office when it is finally released. PR expert Nick Eade told Mail Online that perhaps Rachel isn't the best person to promote the film, despite playing the main character, because she has actively chosen to spoil the narrative. Zegler scored the role of Disney's original princess in June 2021, just 4 months before Steven Spielberg's remake of West Side Story propelled her to stardom, clinching her a Best Actress award at the Golden Globe Awards. Some critics initially questioned Zegler's casting due to her being a Latina actress of Colombian descent, portraying a character traditionally described as having skin as white as snow. In response, Zegler had a candid conversation with Spider-Man star Andrew Garfield on Variety's Actors on Actors series. She emphasized the need to guide her detractors in the right direction and expressed her excitement about playing a Latina princess regardless of the controversy. "Never in a million years did I imagine that this would be a possibility for me," she told him. "You don't normally see Snow Whites of Latin descent, even though Snow White is a big deal in Spanish-speaking countries. Blancanieves is a huge icon, whether you're talking about the Disney cartoon or just different iterations and the fairy tale and all the stories that come with it. But you don't particularly see people who look like me or are me playing roles like that." When it was announced, it was a huge thing that was trending on Twitter for days. All the people were angry. Zegler also addressed the casting criticism again in a recent post on X, formerly Twitter, where she shared pictures of herself as a young princess. She expressed deep appreciation for those defending her online, while requesting not to be tagged in pointless discussions about her casting. She left a message of empowerment. "I hope every child knows they can be a princess no matter what." Shifting gears, Zegler's comments about Snow White's feminist aspects have also sparked attention. Following interviews in which she criticized the original Snow White as anti-feminist and pledged to present the rebooted princess as a leader, snippets of these discussions circulated widely on social media. Some TikTok users edited the content to focus on specific parts without providing the full context of her views. Speaking at the Disney D23 Expo in September, Zegler clarified, "I just mean that it's no longer 1937. She said that the new Snow White wouldn't be reliant on a prince to save her. Instead, she envisions a Snow White who aspires to become a leader, driven by the fearless, fair, brave, and true ideals that her late father inspired in her." Zegler reiterated these sentiments in an interview with Extra TV, pointing out the outdated gender dynamics in the original 1937 version. She remarked, "The focus is on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird. So we didn't do that this time." That's all for the video, folks. Thanks for watching.